Welcome back to another edition of Auburn All the Time. It's been a long, well, I'll say a short break as the as the football season came to an end, and towards the end, we really have a whole lot to talk about. But we're gonna do a little brief recap of how the season ended, and I'll let you start it off. End of the season on a 5-game losing streak. How that make you feel?
Well, like we started out first show, we had questions, and
Right.
we still there's questions still looming about the end of the season. I mean, you can go back to every single game that we played in that 5-game losing streak, and you can honestly say that we were supposed to win
Right.
all of those games.
Right.
Just little things here and there, and then there's big question marks, like I said. But overall, I'm just like it is what it is. When we talk about basketball later, that's a breath of fresh air. When you talk about Auburn, and you got other things like the gymnastics team and all that type of stuff that gives you life as an Auburn fan. But going back to football, I mean we've lost practically the whole coaching staff.
Right.
Besides the guys that were prior with Harson, or it looks like he's getting his people in that he
Right.
won't. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he wanted the SEC guys that in the beginning that I guess had the experience with the SEC and stuff, which it kind of makes sense with you coming from a league like you was coming from,
Right.
and getting some experience, with the Derrick Masons and the Mike Bobos of the world.
Right.
Having those guys in there to assist you in that first year, I can understand that. And now, the route that you're taking, you're getting the guys that you want, and I guess you're going to establish the system or the culture that you want to have. So, man, really, to me, I'm not going to even talk about any of this transfer stuff. Some of this stuff was already going to happen regardless of the coaching
Right.
situation, regardless of the record. I believe all this stuff was going to happen. A good bit of it. I'm not going to say Bo Nix would have left if we was 10-2. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm not going to get into all of that. I'm just just hoping for better in the future. That's what I can sum it up to.
Well, it comes down to quarterback play.
That's
and
true.
do you actually believe that we've upgraded from Bo Nix?
No, I do not.
I don't think
I
it was
honestly
a
don't.
it was a toxic situation for him just due to the fact that who his dad is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure I don't know all the ins and outs, everything that happened, but to me, he took a step back also by going to Oregon.
Yeah.
I mean, you playing for a guy, Dan Lannon, first time head coach. The only familiarity is, he's been with he's coached under their new offensive coordinator before for that 1 year at Auburn. But other than that, Auburn's got better running backs.
Yeah.
And, just different situation. I don't know about the receivers. I would say it's probably about even. But one thing Auburn does got going for them, they're pretty much loaded at tight end. But anyway, long story short, I didn't think on both sides of how you look at the situation, either him or Auburn, they didn't upgrade. No way. Because you can look at how we want to look at it, but at the end of the day, Auburn brung in Calzada, they brung in Ashford, and based on what we've seen from Finley, and we ain't even seen Davis yet,
Right.
Calzada's the guy. I don't even think it's really a debate unless somebody can actually come in and beat him out. Just due to the fact that I think he fits more about what Harsh is looking for.
Mm-hmm.
A guy that can throw the ball downfield, that can stand in tough, hang in the pocket.
Right.
And I wasn't impressed with him when we played against him, over there.
No.
He played his best game of his career against Alabama, but that's
Right.
just one game. So,
Right.
But I'm not. I got a lot of questions, but at the end of the day, it's for me the one question I have from Harsin. Even when the first day he was hired, can he recruit? And I would say at this point, no, not to a certain extent. I think they did okay, but there's still one thing that they needed to do was build depth on the offensive line. Still hadn't done that.
That's true.
They went out and got signed and committed 5 or 6 defensive backs, and the reason why we had so many leave. So it kind of makes sense. And I mean, I know we're not talking about the transfer portal, but they missed on several guys in the portal too.
Well,
for the guys they lost, they're not even making up for it.
I said I wasn't going to talk about trans. You were talking about transfer portal, but I'm just saying.
Right.
You're absolutely right. We have missed on some individuals.
Right.
That I mean. I feel like we should have.
When you're losing guys, to Ole Miss and Missouri and South Carolina, you got problems.
You do.
I don't care at the end of the day. And to me, I think Harson's looking for a certain recruit. I mean, he'll take a 5-star if he can get him, if he fits what he's looking for.
Right.
He wants a guy that can come in, no social media, football, education. That's it. No social life, no nothing. You're either 100% football or you're not. And, that's all good and fine. But, the times we live in, it's almost going to be impossible.
That's hard nowadays because, this generation is built off of. You can practically say this is the social media generation.
Right.
And, look at what we're doing now. So,
oh, yeah.
But anyway, if you good with it, I mean, we can move on unless you want to spend a little bit more time on the 6 and 7 season that we had.
Well, I'll say this before we move on. Two key points, and I'll be done with it. If you look at, I was reading an article on 24/7. They did SEC predictions for next year. Mm-hmm. Well, they had Auburn going 5 and 7.
Wow.
So that tells you, just from a perspective standpoint, what people think about
the expectations. Yeah.
So it's like this. I know this, and I think you can agree with this. That 5 and 7, he won't be back another year.
No.
I mean, because his buyout ain't nowhere near as big as what we had under Gus Malzahn. So I don't see no way he can survive at 5. I'm pulling for him, but 5 and 7, 6 and 6. I only think 7 and 5 would be real. I won't feel great about 7 and 5.
I would. Okay, here is my analysis on that, or my take on that.
Right.
I don't even think a 6 and 6 season would even be suffice. 7 and 6. I mean 7. Well, if you get 6 and 6, of course you're gonna get a bowl game.
Right.
If you go 7 and 6, 7 and 5, you are gonna be on a very, very, very short lease, and your seat is gonna be smoking hot.
Right.
Going into that third season, because now it's put up or shut up.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it would not surprise me not one single bit if he's gone. Definitely there's a losing season. I don't care if it's a 6 and 7 season.
Right.
You go to a bowl game again and lose. I guess we'll keep that streak going as well.
Right.
Since Gus had a good streak with that. But yeah, I really don't see him being there. And in the beginning, what I'm saying, I had some hopes for this guy.
Yeah.
Harson. I don't know though. I honestly don't think he was ready for the SEC. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And recruiting plays. I'm talking about recruiting is top tier in that. And then just the way you finished out the season, those games that you could have won, and I don't know this man's personality, but the lack of emotion on some of these games, that threw up red flags to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, if you had a Bruce Pearl type guy on the sideline,
right.
a Bruce Pearl football guy, let's just say it like that. We're not talking about basketball. But I think there would have been more emotion on some of these calls and things that, necessarily didn't go our way,
right.
And I've talked to other Auburn fans, and, we've debated about this.
Right.
And I just, that was some of my red flags, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think that the thing that he's known for is, offense and quarterback development.
Mm-hmm.
And I can honestly say, before Bo Nix got hurt, he was playing the best ball of his career.
I think he was too.
But I think about it, whenever you do that, he's a quarterback coach, and the offense is what let them down in the last 4 or 5 games. And that falls back on him.
Mm-hmm.
And
with the exception of one game, I feel like Mississippi State game defense was atrocious.
Well,
in the second half.
No pressure.
Yeah.
And all that changed down the stretch for some reason when we played Alabama and teams like that. They actually started bringing pressure.
Exactly, and it was a completely different.
And I think a lot of people kind of know why. That's when somebody else kind of stepped in and had some opinions about the defense, and we need to make some adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
But that's either here or there. And one last thing I'll say about football when it comes to Harsin, I mean, I like him, as far as what he brings from a structure standpoint, discipline standpoint, accountability standpoint. And it all comes down to recruiting, not just recruiting, and now it's the transfer portal. No matter what you let go from your team, it's all about not that, but what you bring in.
What you bring in.
And I noticed something. Speaking of recruiting, I don't know. I mean, we'll finish top 15. I mean, is that really going to compete with what we having to face on a week in and week out basis? But with that being said, you even look. I'm already looking ahead to next year. We landed, I think, probably for next year, the number one center in the country. Joyner out of Auburn High.
Yeah.
But then there's three top 100 players, one being a 5-star at Central Phoenix City. 30 minutes, down the road from Auburn?
Right.
There's 3 of them. And Auburn's not going to get none.
No, not going to get any one of them.
A.J. Harris, the cornerback, is probably going to Clemson. You got Parker, the defensive end, Georgia. Then you got English, the slot receiver, which we need right now, which we need all 3 of them.
Yeah,
ain't no debate.
We do.
He's probably going to Alabama at the end of the day. And that's a sign for me. I mean, just like, not to talk about it, just like we lost Curtis Perry to Alabama, that's right down the road.
Right down the road,
and we lost him. What you mean? That's not even, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, but it's going to come down to, in the state of Alabama for next year, there's probably 25, if not more, 5- and 4-star recruits within the state. Just Alabama by itself. Okay, out of them 25 or 30 of the guys, let's just say 30. Out of them 25, 30 guys, how many of them guys do you think will be a respectable number for Harsin and them to get to be satisfied? Because there's for sure 3 5-star defensive backs in the state for next year. Just at the cornerback position. There's 3 of them.
A respectful number.
Yeah.
For the state of Alabama.
Just for the state of Alabama.
Out of 30, 4 to 5-star prospects.
Right.
Man, I'm just going to be honest with you. If you can't recruit your state.
Because you know what's going to happen.
Here's my thing, man.
Right.
It should be at least 10 of those guys come to Auburn.
I would say it should be more.
I understand.
Oh, yeah, but I would
30%,
say right,
because we're gonna automatically lose. You can automatically lose 30% to cross state rivals.
What happens?
And then you can toss up them other 10, or whatever, because Alabama probably get 5 of them 10. So you talking about they're gonna get 50%. But I mean, recruiting your state is critical, man. Like you always say in this show, your backyard.
Got to.
Your backyard, man. You look out your window and you see what's in your backyard, and you can't go out there and just hand pick what you want.
It's really no excuse, because I don't care what you got to do. If you got to pay them, it's open now.
True.
I mean, it don't matter what it takes. I would not. It comes down to work. I would not let Alabama come into Phoenix City or anywhere the surrounding area and get them guys. And what happens is, let's just say out of them 30 guys, okay, Alabama's going to get, I would say Alabama will get 15 of them.
Yeah, that's 50%.
Oh, that's 50%. But what happens is, on the other 15 of the 30 guys, here comes Georgia. Here comes
Ole Miss, Clemson.
All that we just we're going to lay there and take it.
Right.
Until you get a coach in there that says, I'm not going to go for it. This is the results you get. And there's enough talent right there in that part of Alabama. You look at LaGrange, places like that. Yeah. We're just getting shut out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even realistic anymore. Yeah. If he turns out, that's what's going to determine if he makes it or not. I mean, wins and losses is one thing, but if you're losing and you're losing, you can't lose both. You got to win one. But if he wins, let's say if he wins 9 or 10 games, the conversation is going to die off. But if you're losing recruiting and you're losing on the field, you have nothing to stand on.
Well, when you say that, I honestly think that's what's holding Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M, because he's winning their recruiting.
Oh yeah, but
he ain't necessarily. But it's going to hopefully eventually pay out.
Eventually, they gonna want, for what they're paying out. They gonna want something.
You're gonna want some results, man.
They want
just like okay, you said we'll finish 15.
Yeah.
Or top 15.
Could finish a little higher.
But you got to look at what's above the 15 though. You got Nick Saban, you got Lane Kiffin, you got Kirby Smart, and the list goes on. You got Jimbo Fisher. I mean, these
no matter
guys,
how you look at it, the top 3 recruiting classes in the nation for this year, no matter you put in the order you want to.
Yeah.
Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia. You play all 3 of them every year.
Yeah. So. Every year, and that's what I'm saying. If you ain't number 4,
yeah.
Then hey, what are you doing?
I would say if you want to be fair about it, in order to feel comfortable, I would say you need to finish in the top 6 or 7 in the country.
Yeah.
And that'll put you
consistently though.
Yeah. Well, he needs to be in the top 10 every year. Well, with next year's recruiting class, that probably, in order just to be competitive, that might need to be next year's recruiting class for Harsin. It needs to be the best recruiting class in Auburn history.
Yeah.
Just to stay competitive.
Yeah.
So not unless you hit a home run in the transfer portal, which I don't see it. See what happens is, I told this guy today, and I really truly believe this. Once guys transfer out, they transfer out. But once they transfer out, they talk. And they talk to each other.
Yeah.
To people you recruited, you're not necessarily on the same team with you. Let's say somebody like Kobe Hudson. Or anybody. Okay, you got friends that play for these other teams, and let's just say you're talking, and and the thing that happens is all this talk goes on, and they're like, man, why would you want to go play for him? Word gets out that he's demanding that there's a certain way you got to walk, there's a certain way you got to talk, everything, or if not, you're not going. Even if you're the most talented guy, you're not going to see the field unless you do it the way he wants you to do it, and that the word gets out. And that hurts you to a certain extent. But after all that, though, at the end of the day, recruiting's recruiting, but he's going to be justified. His outcomes be determined. He needs to win realistically to feel good. He probably needs to win 9 or 10 games next year. Yeah, I would think.
Yeah,
but that's it. I think I'll get a better feel. We'll get a better feel after the spring because I want to see these quarterbacks. I want to see, which I already know in my mind. And my mind tells me I could be wrong. Calzada won, but the question is, number 2, I think it's going to be Ashford when it's all said and done.
It probably will.
This is my opinion. I ain't seen,
And we'll...
Which we know people here in Gaston that know him, they what they think. They think he should be starting, probably.
Yeah, and rightfully so.
He's got talent.
What would you,
he's got talent.
If your boy was on the team, I'd be like, I root for your boy. You know what I'm saying? Because the relationship that we have.
Right.
But
moving right along.
Yeah, I was just.
So let's talk about something way more pleasant.
Yeah,
it's sad.
So man, I see you got my boy jersey on, man. I'm telling you, look. Only thing would make this jersey even cooler if it was orange. That's one thing I like about the Auburn basketball team is that they wear orange jerseys. But anyway, besides that, man, listen, we're off to a 17-1. Is it 18-1 start? Number 1 in the nation for the first time in Auburn history. The highest they've ever been is number 2. Man, just a basic overview or recap to what you've seen this far, man. How you feeling?
Man, I ain't felt this good since, really since the Chris Porter days.
Yeah.
Chris Porter, Doc Robinson, Damian Fish.
Damian Fish.
I can think back to just like...
Oh, Damian Fish back. Can you believe they let him commentate an Auburn game?
And the thing about it,
that was kind of weird.
The thing about he's done several, but I actually say he does an excellent job.
Yeah, he does.
He tries to be fair.
He does be unbiased. He's not unbiased. He's unbiased.
And I notice he always, when he does Alabama games, he goes out his way to compliment them, which, that's fair.
That's tough to do, too.
Man, but I haven't felt that good since the team that he was on ended up being a number 1 seed. Of course, they got beat by Ohio State in the, Sweet 16? But that's either here or there. But I would say from top to bottom, if you look at depth across the board, this is the most talented team that Auburn's ever had. I think there is some deficiencies. I don't think they're a great outside shooting team. I think they're streaky. And I go back to something Charles Barkley said at the beginning of the year, and it didn't hit home at first, but now looking back at it, it makes sense. He said he thinks in his mind, based on everything he's seen, they can win it all this year. But it comes down to shot selection.
Yeah.
And he said he's concerned about it because Yeah, a lot of times in these games, like I can remember, like the Ole Miss game, just several games, Alabama games, just different games during the season. They would get up big. Then what they would do, instead of going down there and attacking the basket, you know, put pressure on the defense, they would come down and just start shooting threes.
And I think that's one thing that you and I talked about recently was shot selection.
Right.
That's been my main thing. But what I understand is that's Bruce's game. He gives them that freedom to shoot, but also to your point,
right?
Getting up big and maintaining those leads, that's just gonna come with maturity, and they have to start now, right. Because okay, you got the target on your back, and so it's gonna be some games that you just can't do.
I mean, we're sitting in a good spot. Don't get me wrong. Technically, I would say right now, we basically, if you look at the overall standings, we have basically a 3-game lead in the SEC. Okay, but really the season ain't even started yet.
No.
If you think about it, they still got several tough road games at Tennessee, at Florida, at Texas A&M. Texas A&M's at home, at Arkansas.
But that's still gonna be a hard.
But I would say these next 2 games, Oklahoma at home, then you play them Saturday, then turn right back around Tuesday night, play Alabama. And we all know what Alabama's going through right now. Right. They're struggling, but they're capable.
They capable.
That's how you got to look at it. And I watched Oklahoma. I seen them bits and pieces throughout the year. They could have beat Kansas, and they beat West Virginia last night, and they held West Virginia to 22 points in the first half. That tells me all I need to know. And I think they play. I guess they're more like a methodical pace, but they shoot a pretty high percentage from the floor, like 50% as a team. So that tells you all you need to know. They're a half-court defensive team. So, but yeah, I mean, I just like. But with that being said, it's possible if he continues to develop and grow. Just depends on who gets it. We could have the number 1 overall pick in the draft too.
I honestly believe that he will be.
I
started out with him at the beginning of the year. I started out with him as a top 10, top 15 pick. Right. And then it slowly evolved to a top 5. Yeah. Now I'm actually sold on the fact that he probably will be number 1. Right. It just depends, like you said. It depends on who gets the pick. Right. I mean, the boy Jabari Smith, man, is who we talking about. He has it, man, and you know I tell you that he's got shades of Kevin Durant, but his defense is better at this point, and his rebounding at this stage of his
he's not
career.
The pure scorer because he's not the pure scorer Durant is because he's not aggressive enough. He kind of lets the game come to him.
Well, I think that's another testament to Bruce Pearl that him taking the load off of him and him not having to bear that burden of being the top scorer. Right. Because when he played the Alabama game, what he had 25, or that was his highest point total for the year. Yeah. I felt like he had to take over that game in certain instances. And here's my thing, man. You can't, the buckets that he make, the timely buckets that he make, man, you can't really coach that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I look at with guys like Jabari Smith. I look at your next level talent or your potential. That's how I've always looked at college basketball when I look at players. And this is a segue right into the next thing that I wanted to ask you about. And since we're comparing some of these players on the team, and that's what people do. When you have a good team, you start comparing them to other great players and how they play. So it's only fair that we can do it for our team. So like I was saying, it moves right along to when you even get to Wendell Green. I've gone out on a limb, and you know that I've been a North Carolina basketball fan, but I remember cats like Raymond Felton and Ty Lawson. Right. I feel like Wendell Green's ball control and his speed is just as good as those guys that are NBA, that have been NBA players. Right. But I feel like he can shoot better than them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that may be a high I may be comparing somebody, but to some high standards or whatever. But I feel like that's what I'm seeing, man, because the way he moves with that ball, man, and the speed that he moves with that ball. I used to always tell people, I thought Raymond Felton was the fastest person with the ball moving. And then I saw Ty Lawson.
Right.
Now I'm seeing Wendell Green.
Yeah, I don't
know if that's your. Hey, yeah.
He's
got
more
your
like.
own
I think he's a lot like Jared Harper, a guy we've had before.
Okay.
But I don't think he don't attack the rim like Harper did to me, because Harper could dunk on you and everything. Mm-hmm. But Harper had longer arms. But I would say we got Jabari Smith. We got your guy that transferred from North Carolina.
Yeah,
Walker. Thank North Carolina for that. Yeah. I mean, we appreciate it.
They really.
But I would say Wendell Green, to me, he's the MVP of the team.
Yeah.
Because you got, in this day and time, college basketball is a guard-oriented game anyway, and you got to have a lead guard, which we got several. We got Jasper. That's your defensive stopper. But you got KD that just,
he's a dog.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah,
you have to pray for him because the way he played, he's reckless.
He's a loose cannon.
Mm-hmm. But I would say Green is the most valuable player. If something happens to him, we'll still be good, but it won't be the same.
I said the same thing. I actually said the same thing coming over. I'm always thinking a little bit before the show. And by the way, man, if we haven't said it, man, look, we appreciate everybody tuning in. We know it's been a long time, so please click like, share, subscribe, all that stuff, man, so you can get the notifications that when we do another Auburn All the Time show. And like I said, we appreciate y'all. But like I said, I was thinking about, on the ride over here, man, just if we were to lose him, what would our team look like? Because don't get me wrong, KD Johnson is a dog, man. He's a beast, man. But can he sustain that and be controlled?
He wouldn't be a guy that you want handling the ball at all the time.
At all time.
It just ain't going. They will probably convert back to Jasper and probably Flanagan because a couple years ago when he had all them injuries and stuff and suspensions. Last year actually he handled the ball a lot, which he ain't the best lead guard either. But you have to do what you got to do. It was just. I would say even Jabari Smith, if we lost him for an amount of time, I think we can sustain what we got because we got so much depth, and it's like if you look over the past week, 2 weeks of the season, each game there's been somebody different that stepped up and carried them when they needed to.
Just this past game, if we didn't have Cambridge's defense,
that and 9 offensive rebounds. What would we have done? Right.
And look at we got Kessler and Caldwell. They basically interchangeable, just the way they run the offense, and that pick and roll is just the length that happens from that pick and roll is just so crazy, man.
Right.
How many dunks have Kessler got this year?
Just lob around, just float around the basket. They running that Steve Nash Dirk Nowitzki pick and roll, basically what it is.
Yeah, they rocking the rim, man, and it's the length that's just causing havoc with that, And if you collapse down on Green or somebody, you in trouble because
that's the thing about Green too. That's why I'm saying he's so bad because if something happened to him, they won't even be able to run that stuff. Not like that. It won't even be close.
It won't be.
But I'll say this about I think the thing that separates this team from other teams that he's had in the past defensively. Mm-hmm. Even against Missouri, they shot the ball awful. Had some clean looks. It's just different. Mm-hmm. The defense still traveled. Yeah. And that's the thing that I think is going to carry them no matter – because you're going to have off night shooting the ball, but you should never have an off night defensively because defensively it's all effort.
It's all effort.
And time. So.
And credit to Missouri. I knew that was going to – I told you I knew this game was going to be one of them games.
Yeah.
We call them trap games. You know what I'm saying? You come in, they got a losing record. They ain't got nothing to lose.
When I watched them, it's like when they played Alabama at home a couple weeks ago, I watched them. They couldn't miss.
No, they couldn't.
Then they turned back around. I think it was like a game or two later. They played Ole Miss and only scored like 40 points.
Exactly. And got dog.
Yeah. But I would say we're in a good spot right now, but the season's just now getting started to me. Do you feel like Auburn's going to win the SEC regular season? They basically, to me, I would say right now it could change. It's a 2-team race, Auburn and Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
But Arkansas is coming on a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We're not even gonna talk. I mean, they got a long way to go.
But the thing about that though, man, and then
Right.
well, you was listening to your teams. I guess I can finish it.
Right.
You got a sleeper, which is Texas A&M.
I think they're coming back down to earth a little bit.
They could.
I don't see it. I don't think they got enough firepower offensively. They're a half court defensive team. I think a team that nobody that can catch lightning in a bottle, basically, Arkansas.
Yeah.
And we go there.
Mm-hmm.
But they start off so slow. I think they got 3 losses. So they got ground to make up.
Mm-hmm.
So the main thing about this though,
I ain't gonna count out Tennessee either.
Well, we'll go there, but I think Tennessee. I think by the time we play them, it's towards the. I think it might be the last regular season game of the season.
Yeah.
So I don't even think by then. But I'll say this: I might look crazy. The thing about Auburn, I don't think they're gonna lose at home though.
No, it's gonna be tough.
It'd be tough. I mean, you can get them on the road. I mean, you're gonna lose some road games. I don't care who you are. Florida's not even great this year, but they're capable.
Mm-hmm.
And Auburn goes there. I can easily see Auburn going over there.
And I mean, and I here's the thing. I don't even think it's possible that we can finish out the SEC road, but I believe. I think
realistically,
1 or 2 more SEC.
Well, it's like this. I think we're 3-0 or 4-0 on the road. I mean, I don't know. What's the record for most road wins by Auburn? It's probably can't be no more than 7 or 8. And they got, who knows? But I'm just saying, they're in a good spot. The key word is right now.
Right now.
But you can't, they got so much. And I'll be honest with you, I don't care about being number 1 right now.
I don't either.
I'd rather be number 1 in April.
But it's nice.
It's nice. Well, for one, there's one thing about it. You can't deny it when you come to recruit season.
No, and
it sells.
Right.
To me, that sells. Having potentially the number 1 pick in the draft, that sells the recruits.
That sells too.
You taking Walker Kessler from North Carolina, only averaged 3 or 4 points a game. And now look at him.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, I mean, he might not win SEC Defensive Player of the Year or Rebounder of the Year because it might go to our guy at Kentucky. But just to say where he's came from,
dude, that dude had 11 blocks in which game was that?
Had a triple-double.
Yeah, was it 10? Was it 11 blocks?
Yeah, LSU.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but we got a lot of things. We got a lot of things we can sell right now, basically.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about.
Hopefully, I think it's pretty much a done deal as we talk now. Pearl's getting locked up for life.
Man,
the money's there.
Look,
I mean, you can all this money that we're not getting off the football team. The money we do have and the revenue that's bringing in from basketball, I mean, you got to put it in the hands of the people that feed you.
Yeah,
because the football team ain't holding up their end of the bargain.
And I like what Pearl said after the Kentucky game. You know, he was like, man, you see this at Kentucky, you see it at North Carolina, you see it at Duke,
right?
You know, these Kansas,
right.
You see it at those Blue Bloods, man. He said, but it's happening here.
Yeah, at
Auburn, and that stuck out to me
also,
right there, man.
When you got a guy like Pearl doing what he's doing in basketball, I think at the end of the day, it puts pressure on everybody else.
It's gonna have to,
because the football team nationally has always been Auburn. Realistically, is a top 12, 15 program all the time.
All the time.
Auburn basketball, I'm talking about out of all Division I teams. Before in the history now, it's down there towards the bottom. Yeah. I would say Auburn and probably South Carolina are the 2 worst basketball programs all time in the history of SEC. So with that being said, he recruits, he graduates his players, he develops his players,
he put them in the league.
He's got a connection with the fans, unlike anybody I've ever seen.
Anybody.
So with that being said, to me that puts pressure on the football program. The baseball program it's okay. I mean, it could do better. But at the end of the day, the question is, if he can do it, being an Under Armour school, they say basketball can't. You know what basketball is? Yeah, Nike, Jordan brand. Jordan. That's AAU. But take Under Armour basketball school and turn them into the number 1 team in the country. And took Auburn to the first Final Four in the history of the state of Alabama. Okay, if he can do all that, being handcuffed to a certain extent.
That's true.
then why not?
Yeah.
The question is why not?
Why not?
If something happened, I want Pearl to finish out his his coach career at Auburn. But when he retires, he needs to take over somewhere in the athletic department.
I agree.
He needs that
I
because we need somebody like that.
I agree.
If he could coach football and basketball, I wish he could do it.
It seems like he has the recipe.
He does.
And I mean, I can't say anything else behind what you just said. I mean, that's 100%.
If he can do it, and it's sort of like my Cincinnati Bengals. You know what I'm saying? C.J. Uzomah played it all.
Yeah,
we know. And he's like this. He made a good point. Why not us?
Mm-hmm. Why not?
Why not us? Why not us?
Yeah.
Same thing with the football team. You know what I mean? Why not us? I mean, we're in Alabama shadow. We're in Georgia shadow.
Mm-hmm.
We're capable though. We've shown we can beat both of them.
It's always been there.
It's always been there.
I mean,
why not us?
The first time they played the national championship against each other, we beat both the teams that year. So I mean,
why not us?
But yeah, man, I think this team is really gonna. This is a magical team.
It is
so far, and of course, we already know anything can happen, but I don't see it falling off the tracks.
Even if they lost a game
off the tracks
or two,
right? And even if the rankings are gonna change unless we go undefeated. The rankings are gonna change.
Well, I'll say this: I don't even really care. I mean, it'd be nice. I mean, I want Auburn to win the SEC and hang that banner.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I don't care nothing about the SEC tournament and all that. There's another tournament I care about.
What matters.
The main thing is you want to be playing your best ball at the end of the season and being healthy.
Right.
If you can't really, you can control one of them. But one of them you can't control is injuries. But that's the main thing. It's not right now what's going on. It's what's going to happen down the road.
Yeah.
And you want to be playing your best ball down the stretch.
Yeah.
So they're capable.
So okay, well, I guess we'll kind of wrap up with we got the Big 12 SEC challenge here with Auburn facing Oklahoma.
Right.
We kind of touched on it just a tad bit, or you did, but what do you think it's going to take for Auburn to defeat this Oklahoma team?
Keep doing what they're doing, and I would just say shoot a little better, shooting the ball a little better, just a little better, and I think they will at home for one. I see this game going. Oklahoma wants this game to be in the 60s. I would think. I think Auburn wants to be in the 80s. So I think Auburn's going to play. I think Auburn's. The thing about them, I don't think they got elite guard play at all.
Okay.
I think they got good size, but I don't think they got elite guard play. So with Auburn playing at home, I think Auburn can score. I'll say 82 to 74.
Okay.
And I would say Auburn's probably, with them being at home. Oklahoma though. I mean, they don't have a great record, but they got a strong RPI. They're 40th in the RPI. That's strong. But they're 13-7 overall. So I'm not looking at. I don't gamble, but I would imagine Auburn's they're probably a 10-point favorite, give or take. I would think. Okay. So I would say 82 to 74, and if I'm looking at the SEC Big 12 Challenge, you got Kansas and Kentucky. That's going to be an unbelievable game.
That's going to be a great game.
But I'll say the one to keep an eye on, I mean, I hate to tell people this, I would keep an eye on the Baylor-Alabama game.
Yep.
It's at Alabama, and they're capable. I tell people, because whenever you got 3 or 4 guys that can shoot threes, you're always got a chance. And Baylor's sitting there at number 4, going up to Tuscaloosa, and I'll be honest with you, Alabama needs a win. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're going to beat Baylor, but I would definitely keep an eye on that one for sure.
They do. Well, my take.
Because it's like this. The SEC this particular year is getting conversation of being the best conference in the country.
That's true.
And I think some of this will have a lot to go along with that. You see what I'm saying?
That's true.
So.
And you can credit Sankey to that, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's done it for it.
But my view on the Oklahoma-Auburn, I think one thing, just a team like Oklahoma,
right.
Auburn doesn't need to let them be in the bonus early. Shooting free throws with 10 minutes left.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, because they tend to do that in certain games, and that's kind of things that I pay attention to. But I feel like Oklahoma is going to make this a half-court ball game with their defense. They're going to try their best. They're kind of stingy with defense, with their defense. But I feel like we can with like you said, taking good shot selections or making good shots. Even if they miss the shots, it's making sure they're good shot selections. Driving to the basket. Taking the shots that are high percentage shots.
Right.
I think that's what's gonna get us for the long run anyway. But I think that would if Jabari Smith and Kessler and Wendell Green have a solid game, I don't see no reason why. And you always got your X factor of KD Johnson. Even a Jalen Williams or somebody coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? And you got. And Flanagan, he's due to have an outstanding game.
Slowly but surely, the injury has set him back. Yeah. He's nowhere near what he was last year.
And I think he
might be pressing a little bit too.
Yeah, and he's coming back, but I mean, it's not like you said. He's nowhere near as explosive as he was, but I still feel like he's due to have one of those games, man. That he just show up and we be like, okay, but now he may not do that the next game, but just some good defense from my boy Zep, and I think we'll pull out. I don't predict basketball scores.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do.
It's so crazy.
It's hard to do.
You know what I'm saying? So you definitely not gonna get me to say a score on here.
Well, really though,
I do have Auburn with the win.
Well, it's like this too. This is basically, if I look at this game, this is like an NCAA tournament game. Mm-hmm. This would be like Auburn. Let's say right now the season ended today. Mm-hmm. Auburn's the number 1 overall seed, so they're a 1 seed. Basically playing against an 8 seed. Yeah, that's basically like what
this would be like the 2nd or 3rd round of the tournament. So that's what you're looking at right now, and I'd love to see what the temperature looks like.
Yeah,
I want to see can Auburn sustain this number 1 team in the nation chant or whatever.
Yeah,
and so we'll see. We'll definitely see, because if you watch this game, you should watch this game as, like you said, tournament implications and stuff like that. Yeah. You gotta watch this game as a big dance type game, and that's how you're gonna see this. And I like it. Here's the thing with me: I like the fact that they're throwing this in the middle part of the season, because it gives you that feel. You know what I'm saying? And you anticipate something like this. You know what I'm saying? Or it gives you the anticipation of the tournament.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, all right, then. It's been, obviously we took a little break since our last show. Yeah. I was depressed, and I had to come out of it. It took a lot of fasting and praying for me to come out this rut I was in.
When you got to go that route right there.
Yeah. It's. But we're back stronger than ever. Mm-hmm. We will be back again, hopefully talking a little more basketball, and hopefully we might actually sign a couple more recruits down the stretch of football.
Hey, shouts out to Sonny Lee. She's an Auburn gymnast. We say this Auburn all the time, so we got to look at the full spectrum.
Right, there it is.
Sonny Lee, reigning all around gold medalist, Olympian. Hey, man, we got to give shots out when shots are due, man. Right. You know what I'm saying? And, he representing Chris Porter tonight. I'm on the HBCU tip. Hey, man, support your HBCU colleges.
Look for Dion and Jackson State to land a couple more.
Yes. It's coming. The boom box, man.
It's coming.
The boom box. Hey, look, coming to Birmingham, Alabama, man. Isn't that amazing, man? How HBCUs are getting the rep, man. But I attended HBCU, so I have HBCU pride, man. And so, not only that, man, I just look up to the historically black colleges and universities. But, hey, with that being said, man, listen, it's been great. Look, we've been a long time, but we back like my boy Bruce said. And, man, I'm going to sign out saying War Eagle.
War Eagle.
All right.